Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to share my tips with you when you're in those situations in a match where you may need to take on more than one defender. So the first thing we need to keep in mind is we need to be very confident and comfortable in 1v1 situations before moving on to those situations where we need to beat more than one. So make sure you've mastered 1v1 dribbling. If you need some tips, I'll put some links on the screen right now. But let's make sure we're very proficient in 1v1 dribbling before moving on into beating more than one defender. So with that in mind, let's move into some situations on the pitch that you may encounter. So this is a situation you might face in a match. I face it quite a lot as a winger, where I've got the ball on the sideline and the winger's closing me down trying to take that ball, and then the fullback's almost filling in behind that player in case I beat them 1v1 so that they can attempt to tackle me as well. So step one is having our head up. When we receive that pass, we need to have our head up and assess the situation. We need to be fully aware that there's two players ready to tackle me. If we have our head down and all we see is this player, we might take a heavy touch and it might go too heavy, and that second player is just going to come in and retrieve the ball. But if we've got our head up and we can see that there is an opponent behind him as well, then we can be a bit more strategic with our dribble. So this is how I would attack this situation. I would make my move on the first player. I've already established that I'm competent in a 1v1 situation, so I don't need to worry about this first player. I'm confident I'm going to beat him. So if I drop my shoulder and cut to the inside, now I need to be aware of the second player. And that's the player you need to be focusing more on, because this is the way you're going to exit this particular scenario and you're going to advance down the pitch and create options for your teammates. So let's say I drop my shoulder and I've cut inside. That defender is going to make his movement because he's going to see I've just beat his player, so he's going to try and intercept that ball. So this is where I would take a heavier touch because I know there's a big space in behind these two players. So here's how I would typically approach this situation. I might start taking it inside, quick move, and then quick move again. So just to break it down, when you're beating that first player, you're keeping the ball close to you, and as you make that second move, that's when you take a bigger touch and accelerate.
So let's have a look at this used in a match. So this is me with the ball running at the defender. Here's the first defender that I'm going to beat, and then here's the second defender that I'm going to beat. So let's slow this one down. So I take on the first defender with just a simple touch inside. So let's have a look here. As you can see, the ball is close to my feet, and now the second defender is going to approach and try and win the ball. So this is where I'm going to take my longer touch to catch him off guard and then get out of this situation. And then a third defender comes in, and all I'm doing is the exact same thing. So let's look at another scenario out on the wing now. The first example was in the middle of the park. Now I'm out on the wing. So let's have a look at this one and break it down. So I'm going to try and use the exact same dribbling method for this scenario as well. So here's the first defender and here's the second defender. So I take the touch inside and shake off that first defender, so he's out the way. So I want to take this bigger touch inside. However, my own teammate is actually getting out of the space to give me some room, and he's running into that area, so it's no longer available. So now it becomes another 2v1 with this defender and this defender. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as I was going to the first time around. So I take that touch past that first defender, keeping the ball close to my feet. The second defender approaches, so this is where I take the longer touch so that I can escape this situation.
So now that we've covered a couple of situations where you may face more than one opponent in a match, now we're going to work on a drill that really helps you develop that tight control, that really helps in those 1v2, 1v3 situations. So this is the drill. We've got 4 cones around the outside, and then in the middle, we've got a bunch of smaller cones scattered, and we've scattered them randomly so that when we're coming into the middle, we're working instinctually. So this is how it works. You start at one of the cones on the outside, you dribble into the middle, get through the middle, and once you get through to the middle, you're going to exit and accelerate towards the nearest orange cone. And then every time you get round a cone, the setup in the middle is going to look a lot different. So it's going to be very hard to predict what it's going to look like when you're getting around the cone, so you really have to work off instinct. So you can do this for maybe 30, 40 seconds up to a minute, have yourself a rest, and then do this a few times. It really works on that tight ball control, using the inside and outside of our feet very quickly, exactly what we're going to be using in those situations in a match. So let's give this drill a go. So those are all the tips I have for you today. I hope this helps you out the next time you're on the pitch and you're up against more than one defender. Make sure you drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.